Good evening, Mr. Seftor. What we're doing tonight is each board member will ask you one question, asking the same question of each of the candidates. And we'll get started with my question.
Okay.
Please introduce yourself and share with us why you wish to serve on this board.
Sure. My name is Neil Seftor. I have a PhD in economics from the University of Virginia, and I've been working both in my graduate studies and the past few years on education policy issues, particularly evaluations of various education programs. I'm interested in being on the school board both because of my general interest in education and education policy, but also because I'm a member of this community and I'm concerned about making sure that the schools maintain their quality. I'm also a taxpayer, and I want to make sure that our monies are being spent appropriately, and I'm also a father of 2 children who are attending Stony Brook.
Neil, what specific strengths or talents would you bring to the board?
I believe my training in economics and looking at education policy would allow me to approach the problems objectively and allow me to look at the different issues involved. Many of the concerns facing school districts involve limited constraints, whether they're time or money, and that I think I have a lot of training in dealing with those issues and looking at them and hopefully coming to reasonable, objective decisions.
Dr. Seftor, thank you so much for being here and for your interest.
Thank you.
What is your background and experience with service to our schools and to our community?
I have lived in this community only for 3 years. I have been volunteering some with Stony Brook with the science fair. I particularly did in some of the before school activities. Beyond that, I haven't had much time in terms of giving for community service, but I think this would be an avenue through which I could make a useful contribution.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Seftor, thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for your interest in the school board. My question is, what do you see as the most critical 2 or 3 issues facing our school district today?
Well, the one that I mentioned earlier is kind of facing all school districts, which is always dealing with resource constraints. Over the past few years, there have obviously been some tough decisions made with regard to what parts of the curriculum to move forward. Busing was another issue. Both of those were caused by constraints imposed by higher gas prices or by funding streams and so on. But another one is to make sure that we do have the right leadership going forward and make sure that the superintendent and the board make decisions that do look towards the best decisions for our students.
Good evening, Dr. Seftor. If you disagreed with other board members over some matter, what would you do to try to achieve a resolution?
I think I would try to clearly explain my point of view and provide justification for my point of view. There are obviously situations in which intelligent people can disagree, and in those cases I would look towards a compromise that would be both reasonable but not giving too much in terms of what I think is right. But if I did feel strongly about an issue and I thought there was rationale for that, I would try to press on that and provide the evidence to support it.
Great, thank you.
Dr. Seftor, can you tell us about a time you had to make an unpopular decision?
I'm making daily with my kids. Unpopular decision. I guess I've been in several positions where I've kind of been in charge. One was when I was teaching a class on the economics of education at the University of Virginia, and the grading decisions and issues around homework and assignments and so on were kind of routinely controversial and unliked. But I made the decisions that I thought were appropriate based on the goals of the course and what I thought was best for the students. and I stuck with that.
Good evening, Dr. Seftor. How would you describe the role of a board member compared to the responsibilities of the superintendent and the school district staff?
Well, I think the board members should really be the advocates for the children. The children don't have a voice in the decision making, and we should look out for them. The staff have particular roles. Teachers and principals and all of the other school staff have their jobs, and teaching certain material or making sure that behavior is enforced and so on. And the superintendent works with the board and guides them, but I believe it's the board who really should look out for the children, and it's their responsibility.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Seftor. If you were offered a seat on the board, what do you think would be the area of your deepest learning?
Well, I don't know all of the inner workings of schools and the district. I haven't had this kind of experience before. I do think training in related areas would help me with those, but I have not worked in a school. I haven't been a teacher or a principal. So I don't know the specifics of the day-to-day things that may be issues that are dealt with in the schools. But I do think that I could learn that.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Seftor, are there any concluding comments you wish to share with the board?
Just briefly, I did mention that I moved here 3 years ago. One of the reasons I moved to this area was the quality of life, and particularly I moved into this school district because of the quality of schools. And I do want to make sure that they are good, both for my children and for all of the children in the district. And I do believe, as I said, that it is the board's responsibility to be responsible in their decision making, to be an advocate for the children, and to be proactive, looking forward in terms of their decision making and not always being reactive to situations that come up.
Thank you very much for your interest in this position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.